Charm number 6, Aladdin's lamp, creating your magic. Frida loves the sound of Vivian's deep baritone voice, and especially when he's reading to her. At the end of the day, with all the chores done and their baby daughter tucked up in her cot, Frida listens as Vivian read one of their favourite tales from the Arabian Nights. Aladdin is Vivian's first choice because, as he often tells Frida, he is her genie in the lamp. Her wish is his command. Such is his love and devotion to her. Have you ever noticed how many stories and legends involve wishes? Aladdin, Sleeping Beauty, The Wizard of Oz. I think wishing must be encoded in our human DNA. We wish when we blow out our birthday candles. We wish when we throw coins into a well or the Trevi Fountain. We make new moon wishes. We wish our friends good luck. We could go down a whole rabbit hole of wishes like Alice, who wishes she could shut up like a telescope. Do we wish because we are dissatisfied in some way? Do we wish because we want some external power to solve our problems? When thinking about our inner journey, I see wishing as declaring an intention. I know the universe can co-create with us when our wishes are for the good of all or not at all. In other words, when our wishes are in alignment with the energy of love. You are both the genie and the holder of the lamp. You can make your wishes, declare your intention, and then experience the magic as you co-create with the universe. Time to do some magical journaling. Your wish is my command. What are your 3 wishes? You might like to close your eyes and vision what your 3 wishes are. Just imagine. I wish. I wish. I wish. Create an affirmation or use one of these. I am ready to create my magic. I am the creator of my magical life. Charm number 7. Bible, a book. Your book of life. When Frida and Vivian moved to the little village of Cumnor outside Oxford, they felt called to attend the village church. Raised as a Methodist, Frida now decides to be confirmed in the Church of England tradition. The charm Vivian chooses for this year, their book of life, deepens and strengthens their relationship, reflecting the symbolism of Christian confirmation. I have a passion for books. Reading books, arranging books, making books. I especially love the smell of old books and linger in the libraries of old country houses, which I love to visit, just breathing in the energy. I was filled with emotion when I had the opportunity to see and touch some rare first editions of Charles Darwin's Origin of Species and Isaac Newton's Optics at Leicester University, and equally moved by seeing the sketchbooks of Beatrix Potter and A.A. Milne in the Victoria and Albert Museum in London. I adore new sketchbooks and journals as they just seem to ooze possibility and potential with pages just waiting to be filled. I also used to feel completely daunted by a new book. Would I make a mess of the first page? Would I live up to the expectations I set myself with my drawing or writing? Would I spoil it in some way? Oh yes, that was a big one. I gradually started to work in small notebooks when I went on walks to record my thoughts and started to add little doodle sketches. Looking back at these can immediately transport me to the moment and connects with me with my memories. In my visual journals, I started to allow myself to get messy, to play with colour, image, and making my own simple notebooks from a sheet of paper. This released me from the desire to be perfect. Cosmic Smashbooking takes my love of books to a whole new level. Here I am deeply connected through all of my senses with my book, which allows me to deepen and strengthen my relationship with myself. There are no rules, so I can't possibly get it wrong. My inner perfectionist doesn't bother showing up anymore as I glue pages together and scrunch and paint the edges. Time to do some magical journaling. Imagine you are holding your own book of life. Close your eyes. What does it feel like? What colour is it? What is the title? Take a moment to describe your book in your journal. You are strengthening and deepening your relationship with yourself. Draw a symbol in your journal to represent this. What is the message that your symbol has for you? Write your affirmation in your journal, or maybe a book that you have made. I write my own story. Charm number 8, the bell. You are the bell. Vivian and Frida love to go dancing. After all, it was how they first fell in love. He holds her in his arms, supporting her as they dance the waltz and the quick step across the ballroom, or just in their front room. Vivian puts on his dancing shoes, shiny black patent leather, which slip across the floor so easily, and Frida puts on her dress with layers of lace and petticoats that twirl as they move together. Vivian knows Frida is the most beautiful woman in his world. He wants the bells to chime to declare how much he loves her, and he calls her his belle of the ball. When the wind is in the right direction, I can hear the church bells ring in the centre of town. Wednesday evening is practice night, and I listen to the rhythmic peals which seem to rock my soul. Loughborough is home to a historic bell foundry who since 1859 have cast more than 25,000 bells that are hung in over 100 countries around the world. Ringing bells symbolise celebration, mourning, announcements, warnings, and awakenings. Think of wedding bells, the tolling bell at a funeral, and your alarm clock. In the days before newspapers and TV, the church bell ringing announced New Year, royal births, and warned of shipwrecks and escaped prisoners. Somehow more romantic than reading it on Facebook. While you are consciously aware of the sound created when the bell rings, the vibration which creates the sound can be felt in your whole body, which is the basis for sound therapy. While research is ongoing at this time regarding the effectiveness of sound healing, my own experience is that I feel calm and relaxed. It balances my energy and clears my mind and is good for my well-being. Sound is a powerful activator of your energy centers, and I always feel the greatest connection with the throat chakra, as this is how we use sound to communicate. The medicine of the bell invites us to consider, what are you celebrating? What have you released, laid to rest? What announcement are you ready to make? When you hear a warning bell, it is a signal to take notice, to pay close attention. What are you noticing? What are you needing to pay attention to? What has awakened in you? So, time to do some magical journaling. The bells are ringing to celebrate my... I am releasing... Tell one person about the inner work that you are doing. What do you want to say? You don't need to do this work on your own. Who could you reach out to for support? Who could you ask to be your accountability buddy? I invite you to find a symbol of the throat chakra and copy this into your book of life. Create an affirmation or use one of these. I am heard. I am awake. Charm number 9, weather vane, shadow work. Now it is Frida who experiences the grief of losing a parent, as her mum loses her battle with cancer. Vivian's heart breaks as he understands her pain, and they acknowledge the shadow side of life. They know that darkness is simply the absence of light, that day follows night, and the sun will shine again after the tears and the rain. This is the rhythm of life. I recall the second time I experienced a dark night of the soul, though I didn't have the language or understanding at the time. I could remember the first time I was diagnosed with depression and recognise the signs too well. I felt I was once again sliding down a steep slope and had nothing to cling on to. I was afraid of how long it would take me to crawl back up the slope. How long would I have to be covered in sludge and slime this time? I can now look back and see that it was in the darkness, in the muddy depths, that I began to recreate myself in alignment with my soul purpose. Somewhere I came across the quote, "There can be no lotus flower without the mud." And I drew the lotus flower with its roots reaching down to the mud, full of nutrients. I dug in the mud of my garden. I painted in my little notebook with the local mud when on a walk. I mixed paint and created my own muddy colours. and painted roses in the beautiful, earthy colours which were my own. I remembered going to mud baths on holiday, how I had coated my body in the mineral-rich slime, how I had laughed, and how amazing my skin felt afterwards. In short, I fell in love with mud. I no longer feared being in the mud, and as I began to play with paint and the earth around me, I realised I was no longer at the bottom of the pond, but was beginning to bloom like the lotus flower. I painted sheets of paper black and then added symbols and patterns in bright colours. I doodled Zentangle patterns on black paper with white and gold and silver. In the darkness, I experienced transformation and I discovered my light. A beautiful lesson I learned through my mud play is that now, when I'm working in my journal or my Cosmic Smash book and my colours turn out all muddy, I celebrate. This is a sign from my subconscious that I am about to discover more treasure. Another lotus is getting ready to bloom. Acknowledging and accepting the shadow side of yourself is one of the most transformational stages of your journey. Do you remember the story of Peter Pan? In escaping through the bedroom window, he leaves his shadow behind, which is neatly folded and placed in a drawer by Mrs. Darling. He later risks returning because he was lost without his shadow and needed to retrieve it. Your shadow is an extension of yourself. Do not fear your shadow. Time to do some magical journaling. I invite you to find an image of a lotus flower and copy that into your journal. Write about a time when you have felt in shadow. What did you discover about yourself? Create an affirmation or use one of these. I am not afraid of my own shadow. In the dark night of my soul, I discover my light. Charm number 10, milestone. Celebrate how far you've come. Can it really be 10 years since their wedding day? Vivian and Frida marvel at how far they have journeyed together. They remember the early days of their married life, living with Frida's parents, and then how thrilled they were to be able to move into their own flat with privacy, and they laugh at their memories. And now they are about to move again into a beautiful house with a garden that Frida can't wait to tend and make her own. Vivian has a promotion at work and their daughter is starting school. There is a delay on the move date, but this is such an eventful time with so many changes. They appreciate the chance to stop by the milestone and enjoy just being together. We got up at dawn to climb to the viewpoint at the Manor Store on the Isle of Skye. The path immediately led steeply upwards. It was a chilly morning and I paused to catch my breath after only 5 or 10 minutes. As I stopped and turned, I gasped with surprise. Firstly, at the beauty of the sun rising over the Scottish lochs and mountains, and then with amazement at how far I had come in such a short while. Breathtaking. literally. I took care to pause several more times on my walk to the top, not only to acknowledge the effort of the climb, but just to breathe in the beauty of the path I had taken, to just be among this ancient landscape. There are times when you get to stop and admire the view, to celebrate how far you have come and catch your breath. Time to do some magical journaling. I invite you to look back at your first magical journal entry. What was your intention? This was the affirmation you may have used. I give myself permission to take action, to do the things that are good for my soul. Write 3 ways that you have taken action. What things have you discovered that are good for your soul? Maybe creativity, meditation, journaling. Create an affirmation, or I invite you to use one of these. I celebrate my journey. I celebrate how far I've come. I give myself time to just be